Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're looking at something that pretty much all of us run into eventually in this hyper-connected, always-on world of ours. We live in a time where the hustle is celebrated, right? And skipping breaks is kind of worn like a badge of honor. But what actually happens when the tank runs completely dry? Today, we're zeroing in on the burnout trap. We're going to figure out how to spot it when it sneaks up on you, and more importantly, we're going to focus on the simple daily habits you can start right now to heal and get your life back. So if you've been feeling like you're running on fumes lately, you are absolutely in the right place.
So, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt just deeply, bone-achingly tired, even after sleeping a full 8 hours? Let's be totally honest with ourselves here. Do small, everyday tasks, answering a quick email or throwing in a load of laundry, suddenly feel like climbing Mount Everest without a rope? Have you kind of lost the joy in hobbies or hanging out with people you used to love? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know that your experience is completely valid. You might not just be tired, you could be dealing with burnout. It's this heavy, creeping feeling that tricks you into thinking you're just being lazy. But the reality? Your body and mind are desperately flashing a warning light at you.
So the crucial point is understanding exactly what we're actually dealing with here. Burnout is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged pressure without enough rest or recovery. We really have to separate this from your run-of-the-mill everyday stress. Stress is usually about too much, right? Too many tasks, too much pressure. But burnout is all about not enough. It's feeling empty, totally devoid of motivation, and just beyond caring. It creeps in when the demands on you constantly outweigh your capacity to recharge. Think of it literally like a smartphone battery that's being drained all day, every day, but you're only letting it charge up to 10% before unplugging it again. Eventually, the whole system just shuts down. And trust me, it can hit absolutely anyone. Students, parents, entrepreneurs, anyone who is constantly pushing past their limits.
Now, we can usually group the warning signs into two buckets to see how burnout silently attacks both our emotional control and our physical bodies. Mental signs like a complete lack of motivation, struggling to concentrate, or just snapping at people, they don't happen in a vacuum. You might start dropping your hobbies, feeling emotionally numb, or just drowning in a spiral of negative thoughts. And here's the kicker. Those psychological burdens bleed directly into your physical reality. That mental numbness manifests as constant exhaustion and really messed up sleep patterns. Your body literally holds on to that stress. We're talking frequent headaches, weird body aches, wanting to just hide away from the world, and ironically, way lower productivity. It's a vicious cycle where your mind triggers physical pain, and then feeling awful physically makes your mind feel even worse.
Which brings us to this. Ironically, working harder often leads to getting less done. It's a fascinating but insanely frustrating paradox. When you're in the thick of burnout, your brain gets so overwhelmed that its processing power just drops off a cliff. So a simple 5-minute task suddenly takes an hour. It is exactly like mashing the gas pedal to the floor when your car is stuck deep in the mud. You're revving the engine, you're burning through all your fuel, but you're going absolutely nowhere. And hitting that wall of high effort with zero reward, that usually triggers the worst feeling of all. You start feeling completely trapped. A lot of people hit this stage and convince themselves they're never getting out of this cycle of exhaustion.
But this feeling is temporary and recovery is possible. This is the absolute biggest thing I want you to take away from today. You are not permanently stuck here. Things absolutely will get better. You see this burnout you're experiencing? It's really just your brain's temporary defense mechanism. It's pulling the emergency brake to force you to stop and heal. It is not a permanent downgrade in your abilities or your worth as a person. We do not have to accept this as our new normal. There is a way out. The fog is going to lift, your energy will come back, and it all starts with making some really simple daily habits part of your routine. Let's move to and see how this builds. Starting your recovery, simple daily habits.
So recovery definitely doesn't happen overnight, but it kicks off with incredibly accessible daily choices to protect your body. Step 1, get enough sleep. I know it sounds basic, but when you actually prioritize sleep, you're repairing that physical exhaustion at a cellular level. And that foundational repair, that gives you the baseline energy for step 2, which is taking regular breaks throughout your day to reset your mind. Once your mind is a bit clearer, you can tackle step 3, actively hunting for ways to trim down your unnecessary workload. Say no to things. And once you've carved out a little more breathing room, you can step into number 4, exercising a few times a week. Notice how these all just kind of stack on top of each other? We're not talking about some massive, overwhelming life overhaul here. These are just manageable, simple daily habits that rebuild your foundation.
And right alongside that physical foundation, We've got to build habits to actively protect your mind. Things like spending time outdoors, actually talking to trusted friends or family, and practicing a little mindfulness or meditation. Remember those mental symptoms we talked about earlier? The isolation yourself and feeling totally numb? Well, these mental habits are the direct antidotes. When you step outside and just breathe in some fresh air, or when you finally text a friend and admit that you're feeling really overwhelmed right now, you are actively smashing down those walls of isolation. You start reconnecting with the real world, slowly thawing out that numbness, and proving to your brain that there is a vibrant life happening outside of your stress. Also, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. I cannot stress this enough. If your burnout is severe, or if it's just hanging on forever despite you trying all these daily habits, reaching out to a qualified mental health professional is an incredibly brave step. Honestly, breaking the stigma and just asking for help is usually the absolute fastest way out of the burnout trap. A pro can help you spot the blind spots in your routine and give you customized tools for your specific situation. Reaching out isn't giving up. It means you actually take your health and your future seriously enough to bring the experts onto your team. And this brilliantly illustrates how you can look at burnout as a timeline. In your past, prolonged pressure was just slowly building up. It was probably happening totally in the background while you were busy meeting deadlines, taking care of the kids, or trying to prove yourself at work, and you probably didn't even notice the toll it was taking. So in the present, your one and only job is simply recognizing those warning signs we've discussed. Don't judge yourself for them, just acknowledge they're there. And your future? That is all about starting those simple recovery habits we just went through. The whole takeaway here is that the sooner you honestly recognize the signs today, the easier it is to step into a healthy, sustainable recovery tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, success means absolutely nothing if you lose your health along the way. Really think about it. What good is that massive promotion or a perfect GPA or a booming business if you are literally too sick and exhausted to enjoy any of it? You have to take care of your body. You have to fiercely protect your mind. All those late nights, the skipped meals, constantly pushing your limits, they just aren't worth it if the price is your well-being. True success isn't just about grinding out productivity. It's about longevity, it's about joy, and it's about keeping the physical and mental health you need to live a genuinely vibrant life. So I want to wrap up this explainer with a question for you to answer for yourself right now. Which habit will you start today? Remember, how to start recovering doesn't mean flipping your whole life upside down this exact second. It just means picking one simple thing. Are you going to spend 5 minutes outside this afternoon? Are you going to set a strict bedtime tonight so you can finally snag those 8 hours? Or are you going to text a friend? Pick just one simple habit right now and take that powerful first step on your path back to yourself. You've totally got this. Thanks so much for joining me today, and please take care of yourself.